Good evening and welcome to Ask the Specialists. Tonight we're talking to the jobs experts. Your questions and answers next here on CMU Public Television. Hello and welcome again to Ask the Specialists on CMU Public Television. I'm Mike Horace, and tonight we are taking your questions about the field of jobs. Let's meet our two experts tonight. First, from Michigan Works, Region 7B, Kelly Nicholas. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And from the Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency, Deanne Hellis.
Thank you so
much for coming.
Thank you.
Just to begin, I would like you two to both talk about your areas of expertise. What kind of questions will you be able to answer tonight? Kelly, let's start with you.
Well, I'm the marketing coordinator for Region 7B, Michigan Works. We cover 6 counties in Northeast Michigan. Not only do we do workforce development, we also do economic development. We have 2 charter schools out of our offices in East Tawas, as well as in West Branch. We have a very successful GED program in Harrison. So anything, again, revolving around education and training and jobs, again, is what we can do.
And Deanne, what is your area of expertise?
I am from the Unemployment Insurance Agency, where we handle getting unemployment benefits for those that are temporary out of work and the law that surrounds them receiving their benefits.
There's a few different ways for you to get involved this evening. The easiest, perhaps give us a call right now. That number is 844-975-3343. You'll find that at the bottom of your screen as well. You can also reach out to us on Facebook and on Twitter this evening. First question, Kelly, goes to you, and we got some before the show. How does Michigan Works assist people in actually finding employment?
Like I said, Mike, again, we do an awful lot of economic development and growth for employers. We're trying to help them expand. So we do a lot of retention, recruitment, again, of employees again, and training for them as well. When it comes to the job seeker, we have all different kinds of programs for them. We have on-the-job training programs. So, for example, if you've been out of work for 28 weeks, you might qualify for on-the-job training contract, where we work with you and an employer again, and while you're being trained by that employer, they hire you on full-time. You actually are reimbursed again, the employer is, for could be half wages or so forth again during the training contract. We have GED testing in all 6 of our offices. And that's one thing that's really good for us, because we've actually received a grant through the Clare Community Foundation to pay for some Chromebooks. We've also done some ironing board funding through the Roscommon Foundation, the community foundation there. And we've also received some personal hygiene money from Mid-Michigan Regional Medical and U of M. So we do a wide range of things, again, for the job seeker.
So Michigan Works obviously helping people find jobs, but when that search is going on, that's when they often turn to the unemployment insurance program. Who is eligible for unemployment insurance, and what is the best way to file a claim?
Sure. The people that are eligible, there are certain criteria. They had to have worked in a certain amount of time frame. They had to have made a certain amount of money, being $2,871 in a quarter. And I know sometimes that's a little confusing on what a quarter is, but it's each 3 months. They have to be available and able and seeking work. To file a claim, it's very easy. They can go to michigan.gov/UIA, and they'll see a nice picture of a MyWAM logo, and they'll just click right on there, and then it'll say file a claim, and they'll be able to file their claim. They can do it over the phone at 866-500-0017, and there's a series of prompts that they can do it that way as well.
Okay. We had a few questions come in before the show, one of them coming from Twitter, and it asks about 1099 forms. Can people receive a 1099 unemployment insurance benefit after February 1st?
Absolutely. They can go, if they currently have a MyWAM account, they can go on their MyWAM account and they'll see a little tab that shows 1099, and they'll click on that and that information will be there. They can call the agency if they do not receive one in the mail, and the agency will be able to send them out another one after asking and verifying they are who they say they are.
So Kelly, for those who are maybe seeking a job right now, what are some tips for building a great resume that's going to get the attention of employers?
Well, we actually have resume experts on our staff in each of our Michigan Works offices that we can sit down with a person in the resource room. You're looking for action words, Mike. You're looking for accomplishments. Not saying I was responsible for X, Y, Z. Proving it with examples. How much money did you save that employer? An employer's going to hire you for one of three reasons: to make them money, save them money, and what kind of benefit can you do? Return on investment. And if they're confused again about how to write a resume, a curriculum vitae, or portfolio, they can just walk into Michigan Works and our expert staff will help them.
Is resume building, how important is that to the job search? How important is that to potential employers?
Well, the average employer will look at a resume in 90 seconds, cover letter as well. A lot more employers nowadays are going to electronic applications. One of the benefits of working with the Michigan Works office is that we actually have relationships built with area employers. Employers will come into our Michigan Works offices throughout the entire state of Michigan for hiring events. We just had one at Gladwin office today. A manufacturer came in and hired people on the spot. Yesterday we had one in healthcare again in our Harrison office. So that's one of the benefits that Michigan Works can offer you, is that we have expert staff, we have excellent workshops, on-the-job training, and we actually work hand in hand again with the employer.
All right. A reminder, you can get involved with tonight's show by giving us a call right now, 844-975-3343, or connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. This question coming in just a few minutes ago: why doesn't the unemployment system allow someone to use a cell phone to get their unemployment?
Actually, they can use a cell phone. The only problem with cell phones is you're not guaranteed, as we all know, that a signal is going to last through the entire time that you're trying to file your claim or certify with the Marvin system. So it's more for this, so that the security of you getting that claim through. You can try it, and if you're filing a claim, you always get a confirmation number at the end, knowing that you have been successful at filing that claim.
And you mentioned the Marvin system there. What is the Marvin system, and when do people need to use it?
Sure. The Marvin system is just an automated service that the claimant calls every other week to certify for weeks of unemployment. It asks a series of questions. Are you available? Were you able? Did you look for work? Did you do any type of work? Did you have earnings? And at that time you report your earnings. And they call every other week. It's on a scheduled time. They can do that on their MyWham account any time in the week, which is the bonus of using your internet and your MyWham account. The number for Marvin, though, if they prefer to do it over the phone, is 866-638-3993.
All right. The next question coming in more on the job search arena. Somebody with a bachelor's degree says they're having trouble finding a job that provides a living wage, and they're looking for some advice on how to find one of those better paying jobs.
Oh boy, right now, Mike, again, a lot of our employers again call us directly again looking for different things. We have a big need again for engineers, for welders, for CNC operators, for manufacturing. We have a big aerospace industry again up north in the Tawas area. So it kind of depends on what their bachelor's of science degree was in. I guess I would probably recommend with them maybe do some volunteer work. I guess talk to a Michigan Works employee. We might have some advice again to buff and polish the resume. They might qualify possibly again for one of our programs to help assist them with maybe some training or even just to work with different employers. Like I said, employers call us directly. They can also, too, a lot of the Michigan Works agencies throughout the entire state, that's what we are. I just work for 6 of them. They actually can look on our Facebook page, and we actually have hot jobs on there. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Region7B. And there's all kinds of information articles on there on how to find jobs, how to do resumes, what to take for interviews, the hot jobs of the day. But there are jobs out there for people that are low skilled as well as, again, the higher skill levels.
Okay, and another question then relating to job searches coming from Grand Rapids. This person wondering what to do when they're overqualified, they're finding in the marketplace. Should they play down their qualifications?
A lot of times the employer may not be looking for them because they're afraid that they may want too much money and they wouldn't fit into that area. Maybe they're afraid that they won't go down a few steps or they won't take direction well from a supervisor. So a lot of times, if you talk directly to a Michigan Works agency, we can talk to the employer, maybe send your resume through that way, and that might help. And Grand Rapids has an excellent Michigan Works office down there.
Okay. Back to unemployment benefits, there's a question about how you get benefits delivered, and is it possible to get them deposited directly in your bank account?
Absolutely. You have two options. You have a debit card, which is through Bank of America, through the state of Michigan, through the unemployment, or when you file your claim, you can choose direct deposit, and they just ask for your routing information and your bank account information. At any point in time while you're certifying for benefits, while you're receiving benefits, you can always modify your benefit payment for if your circumstance changes and you want to go from one option, that maybe a debit card, to a direct deposit. You can change it.
Okay. And we had a question come in as well about unemployment extensions. What extensions are there currently, and how do people apply for them?
Okay, unfortunately, there are no extensions in the state of Michigan for unemployment. If by chance one were to become available, we always communicate via mail, regular standard mail, with the claimants.
Okay. You're tuned to Ask the Specialist on CMU Public Television. You can get involved with our program right now by calling that number at the bottom of your screen, or of course reach out to us on Facebook or on Twitter. Kelly, a question coming in for you now. What advice do you have for businesses that might be looking for qualified employees? How can they utilize Michigan Works to help in their search?
Michigan Works, actually, we are part of a business service team environment. We're very much employer driven. Employers, we work with them constantly to find out what kind of needs they may have currently for their employees, what kind of future needs they might be. And we work a lot with training providers, including community colleges and universities, to help them organize their training to be able to fit so that if someone takes the training, they can go right to work. So our business services team looks for solutions for the employers. We'll sit down there whether or not they want to buff and polish again a business plan, if they want try out some funding again to build an expansion onto their facility. Maybe they need to train new staff or current staff. Those are all different kinds of services our business services team can actually offer.
And do you have any advice for employers about writing good job descriptions so that they can catch people's attention right away?
The job description oftentimes is something that the Human Resource Department again will handle. There's a lot of SHRM, the Society again for HR managers can help with that as well. Our business service team members again can help redefine the job description as well, so the person has an understanding if they're exempt or not exempt, and what kind of job duties that person may have.
All right. This question coming in from Petoskey for Deanne, and this person had wages in Texas, but then filed an unemployment claim from here in Michigan and was told that they actually needed to file in Texas, and they were wondering, why is that?
Okay. According to the law, in order to draw benefits in Michigan, you have had to have had some wages in Michigan in the 18 time period of the 5 quarters prior to. So if the claimant had not had any wages in Michigan, they would have to go to Texas to file their claim.
Okay. Kelly, this one coming in for you, wondering how Michigan Works can help reimburse businesses for costs that are part of training new employees.
That would be the on-the-job training program that we have. An employer again will decide again who they want to hire. Maybe it's somebody who has almost the right skills they have, but maybe they're lacking one or two things, or maybe they need to buff and polish those skills. An employer will decide again who they want to hire. They'll then develop a training program for that new hire. While that person is being trained on the job, Michigan Works would then reimburse a portion of their wages for a certain time period depending on the skill level needed. It's very costly again to hire somebody, and this usually gives people a trial period again to find out if that employee is going to make a good commitment and fit the communication style and the work culture of that. And we have an awful lot of very successful people that get involved with the on-the-job training program. It's a great benefit for the employer who's looking to retain and obtain and recruit employees.
Okay. Back on the unemployment benefits front, how many hours a week can somebody work and still be eligible for benefits?
It depends, if you are full-time, or if your employer states that you are full-time, then you are no longer eligible to draw benefits. However, you can earn up to 1.5 times your weekly benefit amount and receive partial unemployment. And there's a formula that they use depending on if your wages are up to your weekly benefit amount or beyond your weekly benefit amount. And that formula, it's right on the www.michigan.gov, but there's not a number per se unless it's full-time.
Okay. A caller from Houghton Lake is wondering if there's a quicker way to get a hold of the unemployment insurance agency besides calling on the phone, and wondering, how they can cut their amount of time they're spending on the phone with the agency.
Absolutely. The 866-500-0017 number is very busy right now. So the best way to contact us really is through your MyWham account. There is on your MyWham account, there is a section where it says send a message. You just click on the little tab and you can send, it looks like an email, and there are people there that will contact you or send you back some communication within 48 hours.
Okay. Another caller wondering if you can explain definite return to work dates.
Sure.
Apparently there's a 120-day rule in there, and that affects when they must register.
Correct. If you have a back to work date from the time that from your last day worked, if your return definite back to work date was in 120 days, you do not have to register with the Michigan Works. You do, however, have to do work searches still, and there has been some confusion with that. What's the difference between registering with Michigan Works and doing a job search? In a job search, you have to look for 2 employers each week. But if you get your monetary determination in the mail and it says you must register with Michigan Works, and you don't feel that you should have to, then by all means contact the agency and we will look at that.
All right. This question coming in from Maple Rapids. Can you get unemployment benefits if you are unable to work?
The law says you must be able to perform your duties in a full-time capacity.
Okay. We have a question coming in from Twitter now. And this person is wondering, are you noticing any popular fields that are looking for new employees? I know you got into that a bit earlier, Kelly, but can you expand on that a bit?
Manufacturing right now, Mike, is booming all over the place. And you can actually go work for an employer who's in manufacturing fresh out of high school. A lot of times these employers will train you, and you can start out there making a certain wage, and then by the time you end your career again, you could be the plant manager making 6 figures. So anything in manufacturing, right now, CNC operators and programmers, welders. There's a big need again for healthcare, anything to do with nursing or home healthcare aides. CNAs are greatly needed. The Talent Connect system is the Michigan-wide online system again to look for jobs. You can put your resume on there. You don't need to actually have unemployment claim to put your resume on there. Employers all the time are looking through that system for the resumes and the profiles. So that would be an excellent way again to kind of monitor the system as well to find out where the jobs are.
Okay. This question coming in from Asanik. It sounds like a case where they don't work during the summer for 2 months, and they're wondering if they need to be looking for work in order to claim benefits in that kind of situation.
Yes. Yes, the law says everyone must do a work search if they are claiming benefits.
Okay. And a question coming in from Big Rapids also on the benefits front. If somebody quit their job to take another job, and then the other job fell through, are they able to claim benefits?
Well, we don't want to make any determinations on the program, so generally speaking, they would have to look at the specifics of that, why they left, the new job, why the job fell through. So they would definitely be asked more questions regarding that.
All right. What are some of the most common questions that come into your office from people who are looking to claim benefits?
The most common questions really are how many weeks am I entitled to? Because in the state of Michigan, we're allowed 20 weeks. You can be entitled up to 20 weeks. How much would they receive? And a lot of times they're looking at the separation. They want to know, based on my separation, why I left the employer or why the employer terminated me, will I be able to draw benefits? And of course, right now, we do have questions about extensions.
Okay. This question coming in from Houghton Lake, somebody who worked for a while, ended up on unemployment. Later, the state determined that they weren't supposed to be receiving those benefits, and they've been handed a bill for
Correct.
several $1,000s. They're wondering, who do they talk to about resolving that issue because they're disputing the fact that they owe the money?
Well, they just have to protest. On the back of every determination tells you exactly how to protest. One of the ways is to put it in letter form and send it in to us. The other way is, again, on the MyWAM account. There's a little tab for determinations. Under that, there's a little link that says File a Protest. They can click on the link and give us the information. It is important that anytime you receive a determination that you do not agree with, that you protest within 30 days. That doesn't mean that once you're beyond the 30 days you cannot protest, but you know, we have to look at why were you late? Why did you protest beyond the 30 days?
All right. Kelly, a question for you. Somebody who says they're having some trouble finding a job and they think that age discrimination might be playing into this. What advice do you have for older people who are looking for a new job?
Well, I guess it depends on how older they are. There are some programs, again, for a more mature worker. Experience Works is one aspect. And a lot of times throughout the entire state of Michigan, Experience Works, again, has supervisors located in different offices. We actually have one in our Harrison office. So that would be an excellent program, again, if you meet the qualifications for income and age. In terms of being a more mature worker, again, wanting to transition, I would probably have them talk to one of our expert staff members. Maybe on-the-job training might be a carrot for that employer, again, to hire that person. We may need to buff and polish their resume a little bit. We could also help them develop an elevator speech to better sell themselves, you know, while they make that phone contact to that employer or they're on their resume.
Okay. And follow-up question for people who are seeking out a new job. What are some of the biggest mistakes people make when they're looking for a job?
Not casting their net far enough, not having a well-polished resume, no misspelled words. You have to have the occupation and the skills, again, matched to the position that you're applying for. I don't recommend that they send out the same cover letter for each job. They should do each cover letter, again, specific. Follow up with that employer, send them a thank you letter, again, after they've had an interview. These are all different things, again, that people oftentimes don't do. And I think, again, right now the competition is out there. A lot of people, again, are looking for work. But if you just have a really good polished resume geared it towards the position you're going for, use the buzzwords that are in the ad, what's preferred, what's mandated, what's required, what's desired, put that all in your cover letter and your resume, and you're good to go.
Okay. When people are searching for work, what advice do you have for them when they actually head into an interview?
We tell them to practice, and we actually have mock interviews where we actually will go through a real interview with them. And one of the benefits of using a Michigan Works agency such as ours, we have large Mondo pads, which is like a huge portfolio, again, on the wall, and we actually can do teleconferencing. So if a person, again, is interviewing for a job and that employer, again, happens to be in Tawas, they happen to live in Harrison, we can help them, again, do a mock interview over the phone or through Skyping. Okay. So a lot of times it's practice.
Okay. This question coming in from Redford, wondering about changes in the criteria for unemployment insurance. Why have they changed over the last decade or so, and what have those changes been? Sure.
Well, there's always changes to the law. Different groups want different things within a law. That's not just specific to unemployment law, that's laws in general. Some of the changes have been the work search changes, and before you didn't have to, we weren't asking you to do sustainable or to send that information in. We just took your word for it that you were out there searching. Other things are, we went from 26 weeks of entitlement being the most in the state of Michigan to 20. And those factors are all based on the economy and the jobs that are out there and what is happening within our communities. And is it just the state of Michigan that sets this criteria, or are there federal forces at work here as well? There's federal forces that combine all of the state's unemployment. They are the ones that are helping us and making us help make the decisions for everyone involved, all the states involved. All right. This question coming in from Grand Rapids, and it's an employer who is finding people
who look qualified on paper, they give them a chance, they're turning out not to be qualified. They're wondering if Michigan Works does anything to test potential employees or, weed out the ones that might not be qualified for those jobs.
That's a tough question because that gets into discrimination, Mike. Oftentimes, we can actually, by meeting with the participant, we can help them screen out again that way. If they're hitting people blind, maybe a phone interview first before they bring that person into a face-to-face interview to find out, or they could check the references of that person first before they bring them in for an interview. That will help speed up the process. And then you can also, by having that employer go directly to Michigan Works, we can help buff and polish a lot of the job seekers again to make sure they are qualified by doing some pre-screening of that job seeker before the employer gets involved with that. And that's what the business services team does. And you can do that, more information again through our website. Our website is mishworks4.org. There's also our association website. And they can get links again to all the Michigan Works offices throughout the entire state that way.
All right. We have just about a minute left. Very quickly, let's recap where people can go for more resources on both of these topics, starting with unemployment insurance.
Sure. We haven't really spoke a lot about the problem resolution offices, and we do have those around the state in Saginaw, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Sault Ste. Marie, Gaylord. So those are on the website.
Can they find those online?
Yep, exactly. And then, of course, the customer service line, the 866-500-0017. And the best way is their MyWham account.
And for Michigan Works, what's the website they can go to?
mishworks4u.org and our Facebook page, Region 7B.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for Ask the Specialist this evening. Thank you very much to our guests, Kelly Nicholas of Region 7B Michigan Works and Deanne Hellis of the Unemployment Insurance Agency. Thank you both.
Thank you, Mike.
And thank you to you as well for joining us this evening on CMU Public Television. Up next week, Ask the Doctors. We hope to see you then. Have a great evening.